Who are we going with next? Is it United, City?
It's time to give United the smoke.
United. They were awful. If you didn't watch it, they lost 3-1. If you did, never mind. We're not going through the scores anymore. Manchester United lost 3-2 actually. They played very bad.
Last minute, you forgot the last minute Pogba.
Yeah, I did. 2 goals for Paul Pogba, both from the spot. What is there really to say? What is there really to say about United?
I'll give it one word: lazy. I feel like their top players, barring Pogba for once, who I thought was even keel, everybody else on that pitch was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Martial, he's done.
Who?
Martial.
Oh boy.
I don't know what people want from him because he's not delivering on any front.
It's funny because on a week-to-week basis, United Twitter, free Martial. Martial needs to play. If only we had Martial coming on. Martial would change this game. Boy, Martial went to Brighton and stunk it the hell up.
Take that.
Anthony. You were definitely calling him Anthony. We're not calling him going by that.
He's getting Anthony.
Anthony needs to understand that, like, you got to do more. Like, you cut it from the left. We know how the whole show goes, but there's nothing that Anthony does that Marcus doesn't do.
It doesn't do it much better.
It doesn't do it a bit better.
At least it looks like he's trying half the time.
I am so sick and tired of people trying to fool themselves into thinking that Anthony Martial is the difference maker here, or Anthony Martial is being poorly coached. Do I think he'd probably perform a bit better somewhere else? Perhaps. But Anthony Martial is not who people think he is.
I don't even think that, to be quite honest with you. Because the coach isn't the one that's telling him to stay out on the wing and not get into the final third.
Yeah.
You know how many times I would look up to the top of the screen and who's in the middle of the box? Lukaku, on his own. Mata has the ball around the right, or Ashley Young is going to whip in a ball. And where's Martial? Probably like 15 yards back, just walking his way into the box. Like, there has to be something more.
It's just poor. And like, for one thing, I think that anyone that's followed Mourinho, he doesn't intentionally or purposely leave good players out of his side, okay? let's get that one thing straight. He doesn't leave you out. If you are not playing, for a good chunk of it, there's a really good reason why you are not playing. And Anthony Martial showed us that against Brighton. And we don't need to give him another game. No. We don't need to see it. We saw it last year. There's no consistency. There would be one game where they were playing the bums of the bums in the Premier League, and he would play very well. But it's not cutting it.
He gives you that flash where in an instant you see his technical ability, you see his raw pace, you see all the good traits that he has, and then for the other 80 minutes of the match,
not a goddamn.
You see the laziness. Like, I don't want to call a professional player lazy.
I don't know if it's entitlement,
but you just feel like he doesn't think that he needs to put in the work that everybody else is putting in.
And I wouldn't start him. No. I've never thought that he could be a lone center forward to begin with.
No.
Just by his body frame and the way that he is. He would have to play off a striker or possibly play in a 3, cutting off the left. But boy, we gotta... See, Twitter's a funny place. See, once upon a time, I'm going to tell you a little story. Once upon a time, I went on Twitter. And this was probably the time when, like, Martial was booming. And... Is
this Monaco Martial or just arrived to United Martial?
This is United Martial. And there's a little, you know how we like to compare. And it was the 2 United boys that were being compared with Kylian Mbappe.
Oh boy.
And boy, United Twitter was really going off and saying that those 2 are better than Kylian. Oh my God. When life comes at you fast,
in retrospect,
it comes at you real fast.
Boy.
I would take Kylian's left ankle over those 2 at this point, okay? I don't even know if he's left-footed, but I would take his left ankle over those 2. They are not cutting it. It is not Mourinho's fault. And to be honest, to an extent, it's not their fault. They're not the pedestal or the image that a lot of people put on these two players to be the next big thing, the next generational talents, the best under 20, 21, 20, whatever stupid poll there is. They're not there.
No.
They're not.
It's the hype machine. It's the Premier League hype media machine. Sorry, that builds these players up. They get a price tag attached to them, and then unfortunately that price tag now takes over what people's first instinct. Because somebody cost 55 million, we now associate the fact that he's going to be X good. He's going to be this good. It doesn't always work out that way. More often than not, it goes the opposite direction.
Exactly. That's how the market works, folks. That is how the market works. And that's what it came down to. Martial was rubbish. Juan Mata, I'm just gonna give Juan Mata a pass because like if you're expecting anything from him coming off the right, we saw what happened last week. You should have known that nothing was gonna happen this week either. And I feel bad for him because he's a very nice guy. But look, and I've always stood by this, you're not winning the Premier League. Like I said with whoever I just mentioned not too long ago, Juan Mata, you're not winning the Premier League title with him in your starting 11. Unless he's doing a job. And he can't do a job.
I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like I'm just repeating everything that I said last week, but last week they mustered to get a win.
Yeah.
That's the only difference between last week and this week because the performances, yes, they lost this week because Brighton was a little bit better.
Yeah. They worked harder.
Exactly.
And they're at home.
That was the only difference between last week and this week. Because last week they would have potentially lost again as well.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem. Like they didn't really create a chance. They didn't. I could go through my 2-3 pages of notes. They didn't create a chance.
The one chance where they could have won 1-0 up with Lukaku.
Yeah. And then that was just,
that was it.
That was a mistake. A mistake by Dunk.
There's nothing from open play that you could say they created and you're like, they should have scored.
Pogba hoofed a dozen balls over the. Come on, Paul. Like you do this for a living. Like, you gotta get one, brother. You gotta get one, and you didn't get anything.
Poor Lukaku's drifting out to the right, just to try to get a touch of the ball.
Yeah.
Because nobody else can give him any half decent service.
Yeah, I give him a pass this week. And you know how I feel about Lukaku.
I give him a pass just because he's the only one that seems to be working hard.
Yeah.
And everybody else is just slowly trailing, watching him work.
And you know what you're gonna get from Glenn Murray, and he did deliver.
Boy, was that a classy finish.
Yeah, it was.
Come on, Glenn.
It will go. Take a bow.
Boy.
Straight. Talk that talk.
Didn't he score in May against United as well? Was it him? Because they beat United in May too.
Yeah, they did.
So
you already know we're not fact checking that shit.
No. Montoya looked good as well for his first game. Right?
Yeah. Forgot about
he's come a long way.
Forgot about him for a second, young fella. But this goes back to the point of United being bad, because we got to stick there. I'm going to give the fullbacks a pass. But Bailly and Lindelof. Bailly was
train wreck.
Holy smokes! It's funny we're talking to Aaron about Damson.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric Bailly is God, and he's another player that United fans. Oh well, last season Bailly was fit, Bailly was this, Bailly was that. He plays like that every week, and they were responsible for the goal against Leicester as well, where they switched off.
Yep.
And they should have tied that game too, given the way things were going. Yeah. It's a bad week for United, and if they lose to Spurs, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. We talk about, and we both stand on the same premise that this whole third season hoopla, like I'm not into it. Like here, the team is just not good, Yeah. And if we go down Mourinho's, I think the only time where like the third season, where you could say like it was actually third season syndrome was, I want to say Real Madrid, and that's just because internally they really broke down.
They lost the plot.
They really lost it. He lost it with the players, and they really lost it. When I look at the 2 times at Chelsea, it's just poor investment. When I look at the time here now at United, poor investment.
Yeah.
Inter is smart and got the hell out of
there. But the funny thing in all this to me is that he warned everybody.
Yeah.
So he's sitting in his chair, completely comfortable, because he knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. He told you, I need more players.
Yeah.
And when you watch them over the last 2 games, this is the thing. This is the problem. People think that bringing in, let's say, Mourinho gets sacked tomorrow. Zidane is going to change anything.
Nope. Zidane had, if you go through Zidane's lineup, through his time at Real Madrid, he had arguably a top 3 player in almost every single position
Yes.
on that field.
Yeah.
So you think that he's going to come to United
With that train wreck.
and have Mata playing all right, and you think he's going to turn him into the BBC they had?
There isn't 2 banks of 4 and hope that you know Mata's going to turn into Isco.
You guys are mad.
No,
are mad.
it's just not happening.
No, it's not.
It's just not happening. It really is not happening, and it's just. There was someone, I think it's Alex Shaw, and he was breaking down like who Mourinho signed and who Van Gaal signed and who was Ferguson signing and Moyes, and saying, well, how is he supposed to win? I won't go that far. I feel like that's a bit of a stretch. But the team is, like, we're just going to be real and break down to it and not kid ourselves. The team is not good enough.
No.
That team would not win a league in any other major league. They wouldn't win in France.
Not with PSG.
Yeah. They wouldn't win in Germany.
Definitely not winning in Spain.
They're not winning in Spain.
Not winning in Italy.
And I don't think they're winning in Italy either.
Porto would give these guys a run for their money.
we really got to put that into consideration, the way that they put out those half-ass performances. So,
Yeah.
like...
And you start to look at their bench. For a team that's spent some money, there's not much there. Their 2 best players coming off the bench came from the academy, Rashford and Lingard. Herrera, Smalling, Grant, and McTominay.
I think Lingard could be better in a few weeks. I don't think he was 100%. I just think by his touches and whatnot. But even then, like...
Just, you're not getting a spark off that bench.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bringing in Fellaini with half hour left to just ping balls to him and hope he wins one to Lukaku.
And I thought he didn't do bad, given his job.
He did, considering what he needed to do.
Yeah.
But for that to be your option off the bench and think it's going to fix things?
Exactly.
No, and I'm going to say it again, and I've said it. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Patch job. This whole thing is a patch job, and it's tearing at the seams.
Yeah.
That's what's happening now.
Do you think Nemanja Matic...
Where is Nemanja Matic?
He's
his team didn't make the Final 4 of the World Cup.
No, he
got bounced in the group stage.
He was hurt. So, do you think he's hurt? He should be back hopefully sometime soon.
I mean, are you gonna ask me if I think he changes anything?
If he helps them out to the slightest degree, I mean, like,
I'm gonna say not enough because I'm not gonna sit here and rip apart what Pereira did.
Yeah.
Because was he awful? No. Was he good? No. He was just like everybody else. So do you think Matic is gonna come in and inspire the team? Has Matic ever been that player?
If
you expect more 90th minute goals against Crystal Palace volleys? Is that what you expect from Matic all year long? Because that's not what you're going to get. So
United, I think it comes to a point where you really got to look at yourselves as a fan base, as a board. And I think I'm probably in the minority. I think they should keep Mourinho. I don't think he's going to want to stay there, but I feel like they have to. And if they're not going to keep him, that you get a manager that is ready to build something like Arsenal are doing over there. Because if they don't fix that, they're going to turn into the next Arsenal.
Yeah.
Faster than you know it.
Yeah.
Take a note out of what Arsenal's doing. Scrap it. Because this patch job, and I agree with you on that, it's not going to work. It's just not. Scrap it. Start over. You know, you've already finished in 6th, 5th, wherever you finished. You know, you're not near City.
Yeah.
You know it. Everyone knows it. Start all over again, like you should have done when Ferguson left, since you was selfish enough, and I'm still thinking about this, selfish enough not to put you in the right hat, steer you in the right direction. Start all over again and move forward. Because it's getting ridiculous. I expect more from Manchester United.
100%.
And it's just not good enough. And it was sad to watch. It was extremely sad to watch. It was painful to watch.
Yeah.
Salute to Brighton, working hard. And they did do a good job, but even the second half, like it was awful.
They're just getting outworked.
Yeah.
Everybody on the pitch
Yeah.
getting outworked, and you can't have that when you're a top 6 side.
Nope. Or you won't be in the top 6.
Not for long, because there's going to be other teams knocking on the door.
Yep.
Because you put that effort against an Everton, against a Wolves, against Fulham, against these sides are going to outwork you. They
Yeah.
have good midfield. If you
Yeah.
look across the Premier League, there are good midfielders on the smaller sides.
Yeah.
They're going to outwork your midfield. And for me, that's where the game starts.
Yeah.
Starts in your midfield, and then if Bailly and Lindelof are pulling out some more of those performances,
Here's my question for Mourinho. I don't think, realistically, I don't know if Toby and
would have fixed this.
and
disaster.
Harry would fix this. More so Harry, because I've watched him for 2 weeks and he's not cut it.
I don't believe the hype either.
And but I understand where he was going with that. They needed signings and they didn't
Yeah.
get it. And at the end of the day, like I can't knock Fred because that's his first away game in a new country and it'll take
Yeah.
time. But I don't know. They look like a lost cause at the moment. You know, a win at Spurs and next week we're talking differently. So
But for me, it wonon't be just a win. It has to be
a performance. But that's what Mourinho's big on, those
Yeah.
big game performances. And he has a good record against Pochettino and Spurs. So
As long as his side doesn't let in another opening minute goal.
yeah,
So,
then that's
like
another
last
problem.
season.
Yeah,
So
so I feel like they could get a result. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it comes from the top. The higher ups need to be ready for a change.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of people always saying Mourinho parks the bus, Mourinho does this, Mourinho does that. If we really look back at what Mourinho accomplished last season with what he had, to come second after Liverpool, the last 6 months of Liverpool's season was really good. He beat Liverpool. He did well with what he had
Yeah.
because it's virtually the same side.
Yeah.
Not much has changed from last season
Yeah.
to now.
That's not a good sign.
So
And if we're being realistic, because there have been, you know, the Fergie hype that come here and like, oh, well, if Fergie had that team, da-da-da-da-da. Fergie has never played a team that's as good as that City side.
yeah.
And when he came up against good sides, he made sure that they went and invested. When Mourinho was coming around with that Chelsea side, he made sure that they got the Vidiches. Ronaldo had come in. They went and got Patrice Evra, Hargraves, Tevez. Rooney was coming up, Berbatov. They did their job.
Yeah.
Okay? And when he got over that hump, and then Mourinho left and there was instability at Chelsea, he was able to cruise for a bit until City got the money. But he did not come up against anything like that. And I'll tell you,
cruising,
and I'll tell you right now, if he had this squad,
Not against what he's going up against as well.
I may play a bit better.
Of course.
But no.
You're not just going to be a magician and turn players into things they're not.
No.
You can only get so much out of a
No.
player.
That's the history lesson, right?
That's one Manchester side.
Yeah. But
Boy, do things look different on with the other Manchester side.
I wanted to get into that real quick, but Paul Scholes wouldn't recognize a leader if he was in front of Sir Winston Churchill. Some people need to talk for fear of being forgotten.
What does Mino know about history?
Mino should shut up.
You're not helping anybody's
Mino
case
should shut up.
by getting involved.
The rumors that Paul wants to leave, that sounds believable.
Well, too little, too late.
And I think Mino would love to get rid of him. But Mino, this is on Mino too, because he had a chance. If he was the one that was, you know, not really campaigning, but showing Pogba off,
Yeah.
flirting with other clubs.
Yeah.
Could have got him over at Barca.
I'm sure he could have.
Yeah.
For the right price.
Yeah.